So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We want to hear from the ecosystem now, how they've been faring and operating regionally. So I'd like to welcome a woman who's been all and about ensuring that this event is successful. Please help me welcome CEO founder Sheedx Africa, Mrs. Enoabasi, Emah. Please put your hands together for her. We want to hear how the ecosystem is doing regionally. Please, I don't like the way you are clapping. Women supporting women. Please clap for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are we happy? Okay, so I have limited time to do this. I'm pretty much excited. The ecosystems panel, and to do this with me, I would like to invite Chinagozi. Put your hands together for him, and Uche and Aniche. Put your hands together for him, please, for them. Chinagozi and Uche and Aniche. No, we threw Mr. Hanson out. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll just pass the mic so you do an introduction. 1 minute or two. What you do. I'll start with Ms. Uche and Aniche for my right. The convener of Startup South. Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about what it's about. No. Let's hear your voice.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Akwa Ibom. I'd like to say that it's always a pleasure to be here, to be in Akwa Ibom. Thank you for inviting me, Hanson, and the rest of the team. My name is Uche, and I run Startup South. For the last 10 years, we've been at the forefront of driving regional ecosystem integration across the South and the Southeast, promoting especially the startups, driving startups and the innovation ecosystem. And I think that's in a nutshell what I do. So in the course of the conversations, we can go a bit deeper. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Uche. I remember the first time we spoke. I don't know if you remember. I was like, is it the Uche and Aniche?
I'm trying to.
No, but you probably remember.
Uche and looks a lot easier than what you thought he was.
No,
right?
funny, no, you actually sounded it. You was on the phone, yeah. So, yeah, nice to meet you. And Chinagozi, CEO Innovation Growth Hub. Yes.
Akwa Ibom Isanga. For people like you that don't hear what I say, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chinagozi. I'm the founder, CEO of Innovation Growth Hub. Innovation Growth Hub is to the rest of the cities. What Part Innovation Hub is to you people in New York. Innovation Growth Hub is a technology, creative, and business incubation hub. We started in a city of Aba. You know, for those that know Aba, which is your next door neighbor from the right, Aba is predominantly a small business city. A lot of small business owners and light skill manufacturing. Like while people were dancing on stage today, I enjoyed the dance so much, but I said, well, I guess 90% of the fabric they are wearing is from Aba. And we are contributing to the culture of Akwa Ibom. I saw beautiful performances yesterday. I knew we were contributing to it. And because we are predominantly businesses and businesses at some point were dying, we wanted to use technology to support businesses and revive businesses and give businesses hope of transgenerational survival. That was what led us into technology. We didn't know there was something like an ecosystem. So we just wanted to use technology to support businesses. As we were doing that, we found out we needed skills. Then we leverage on other existing hubs and other existing ecosystem and we started skill development. We have been in the forefront of doing that, and in the last 10 years, we have expanded from Aba to Aniche, from Aniche to Asaba, from Asaba to Lagos, to Enugu, and now to Umuahia. So, and we currently started our Community Innovation Center, where we have started going to rural communities, partnering with the rural communities to use their community halls to start innovation centers in those rural communities. Thank you.
That's great. Put your hands together for him. So I'd like to go deep now to Uche and Aniche. I have been actually meaning to ask this question personally, but just as well. How would you define the current state of the South-South ecosystem, and what are the unique challenges? Let's start distinguishing it from Lagos and Abuja. Let's look at the South-South region now, based on your experience.
There's actually no reason, to draw comparison, between Lagos and the region. I know that that's something that everybody wants to do, but people that have worked with me closely recently understand that one of the things I don't want to do is to do those comparisons. It's not because comparisons is bad, it's just because we need to grow at our own pace. We need to be able to look at our uniqueness and be able to develop what we need to do. In fact, what I tell a lot of my people is the places you're mentioning is actually not the yardstick. It's a global ecosystem. So why don't we begin to look at the global nature of our ecosystem and work towards that? Because Lagos itself is also not in the world, for instance, what's the position of Lagos, right? In the world. So granted, you can say it's number one in Africa, right, in terms of ecosystem, but there are several other cities. It just made top 100. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
it just made top 100. So before it became as part of 100, there are several other cities that beats it within the world. So why don't an Akwa Ibom, for instance, Uyo, for instance, push to be top 100 in the world, right? So from the perspective of the question I think you're asking,
the unique challenges.
I don't talk about challenges because there are always challenges everywhere. If you want to dwell on them, there will always be challenges. I'm not sure the right people to solve challenges are in this room. So I rather want to focus on the what I see as a strength. Okay. When it comes to funding, for instance, the last 10 years, the ecosystem have attracted over $10 million in terms of funding directly to startups. That's a milestone to celebrate. It's not where we want to be yet, but it's a milestone to celebrate. The ecosystem have not produced a unicorn yet, but we're well on our way to doing that. So there's a lot going on in the ecosystem, and I think we should be looking at those trends. And the last panel actually did justice to a lot of what you would call the strengths, right? So let us focus on those strengths and begin to work on those strengths. There's, if you look at the talent, like Digi was talking about how we have to continue to produce talent and the talent migrate. I'd say you have to double down. And I've asked myself, I said, so what stops you from looking at what it takes to create the businesses that can absorb those talents here, as opposed to doubling down on training talents that have to migrate? Not like talent migrating is bad, but I think that part of the solution you'll be looking at is not just to double down on talent development, but also look at talent absorption. What do you do to make sure that you're absorbing the talent you're developing so that they can also return and add value here?
Okay, thank you very much. So you dodged my question, but I see reasons why. All right, so I'll move. Yes, I do. I'll move to Daniel. Daniel, I'll take take you on inclusion or silos, right? We talked about community and you shared your experience. I just want us to actually showcase, I don't want to go back to the word challenges, but let people here see that and identify with the struggle, those that are conscious about inclusivity and those that work in silos. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, I will attempt to say a word or two on the question you have asked Uche. Okay. Truly, there's an adage in my place that says, if a lizard jumps up, jumps down, looks around and nobody praises him, he will praise himself and shake nod on his head. I sit down here today and to say to us in the Southeast and South-South, I tell you, we have tried. I want to congratulate every man and every woman here, seated here, that played one role or the other in developing the Southeast and South-South ecosystem. Uche, starting from you, answering to you, to each and every one of us, to the work we have done. Please, can we put our hands together for them? I will tell you why. It's because I don't know 100 times spoken to people about investing in the South, and they give you reason. You know they have this investment because they just invested in someone, and they give you reason why they can't invest in that startup because they are not in Lagos. It's not that those boys that didn't get those investments are not as smart as their counterparts in Lagos or in Abuja, but that's the way it is. An investor that is related to me by blood have told me, I want to come down from my office and I'm able to drive him. But we have remained steadfast. That's the word I will use. We have remained stubborn most times. We have remained, sometimes it looks stupid, but we have stayed the course to grow what we see today. The panel before us pointed out the goods of the ecosystem, but there's something lacking that we must do. We must start lancing this way. I know a number of startups that have started from Start Innovation Hub, that the only thing that didn't make them take off is 200 million to pay for a microfinance bank license, for example. Not that people around us don't have it. For example, myself in Aba, the finance I compete with is the finance my brothers will use and bring in 2 or 3 containers. They will compare giving you $100,000 to taking it to China and buying 3 containers of blade and bringing it to Nigeria and selling it in 1 month. And then you are asking for the same capital for patient capital. So we need to understand our place and know that the people that will benefit from the work we are doing today are the people that will take first mover advantage and start investing in the startups that we ask them to invest in. We're not asking you to invest in our hubs. We don't money. Startups we are raising are the ones that need the money. We've done our work. We're already positioned as ecosystem builders. We're already positioned as hub founders. There's nothing happening within the policy state or within the national state in space in technology today. You won't see Hansen on the table. You won't see me on the table. Why? Because we represent our region. But beyond us now, there is money chip, there is talent port, there is CNGN. There are startups within the Southeast and South-South ecosystem that need financing, that need to get access to investment to grow. Now, people are not working in silos because they want to work in silos. I'm coming back to my question. People are not working in silos because they want to work in silos. A lot of people are working in silos because they've had their fingers burnt. Personal story. I pitch an idea to someone I know can write the check and forget that he wrote that check. And he likes the idea and he invites me and my team to his office. And he brought in his team of developers and his team of experts, and they listened to us. They were asking us questions. They asked us questions. They said, how will you solve this? We say, how will you solve that? We say, how will you solve it? When you were saying, and then we finished answering those questions. The next thing, he he hired some developers. They built exactly the same thing we discussed, and then they called it a different name. I won't take him to court because it doesn't make a mistake. It doesn't make sense taking a billionaire to court. You're wasting your time. Do you understand? But we still went on and built what we wanted to build. He has the money back. He could throw in money on that same idea and launch the way he wants to launch. But he can't get the spirit behind the idea. But the spirit behind the idea is still waiting for financing to grow. So people will rather struggle on their own and just do nice in Uyo and stay. But they know they can scale nationwide. But they are scared that the next investor that wants to talk to them wants to take away what they have. Okay? Thank God for people like WIPO that are trying now to protect, because I'm not sure they have an office in Uyo. Exactly. I'm not sure there is a conversation I would want, let me say, I would want a conversation with WIPO and Hansen to give us a deck space in Uyo. You finance that staff, so that there's an IP office. All the hubs, like sir, I make an offer to everyone. All the hubs in Nigeria can be a DEX office for WIPO, so that if ideas are coming, people are protecting them. These investors that are saying they can't invest here, can you set up, don't put money yet, set up a DEX in our offices so that you listen to these startups. Over a period of 1 year, find out if they can convince you enough to put money in them. Because we know what we're doing. So I want to also say to people that think you can do this on your own, you can't do this alone. Entrepreneurship, founding, building can be a lonely journey. Find an ecosystem, join an ecosystem. Find people that are doing what looks like what you're doing. For example, when I started IG Hub, I didn't know anything about technology. I've always been a businessman. I was born into a business family. We lived in our shop and shop lived in us. So I went to university to study waste management. So when it was in my spirit to start an innovation hub, Hansel already had one like 2 years before I started mine. I reached out to him and we collaborated. Some people would be thinking we should be competing, but I don't compete with him. We work together. He will come to my hub then. The hub actually started I removed the couch and put table. I can remember. He will come 2 days teaching my developers that I've hired, students that I've gotten from Michael Okra University. Teach them how to build with sprints. He would take them on trainings, and then we will use people's product that I have gone to market to get as experiment. And then after spending 2 days, I will travel with him to Uyo and teach his people business model canvas, teach them how to identify, because we collaborated. So stop working in silos, stop working alone. No one can build something meaningful. It's 10 years now, and I can tell you, you can't have any conversation in the southeast or south about the technology or innovation ecosystem without talking to people like us. And then interesting people will now see what we're doing and start investing in us. Like people like Pind is one person, I see their partners around. Pind is one organization, I can tell you any day, anytime, they have invested in Southeast and South in the Niger Delta for us more than any other person. You know why? 80% of the talents that come out of our programs were sponsored through Pind's program. It's basically the same thing with a Start Innovation Hub. $25,000 every year. It looked small, but it made the difference. It sustained us. Even when we wanted to give up and leave this thing, because we always had offer. We will pitch our business to someone and they want to offer us money to leave. Hansen could remember. Someone wanted to hire me and Hansen out of the region the same time. I looked at this person. Hansen said, don't worry, just let's listen to him. So what I want to say is that please don't work alone, don't work in silo, collaborate, build a strong community, and let's launch as a community. Let's see community as a tool for our greatness. We don't have the money, but we have a community and it's growing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your practical steps. That was really beautiful. And I think our time is fast spent, but I'll just do one each. for Mr. Uche, if you had the power to actually influence one policy that will facilitate digital infrastructure, like transformation, what would it be? Okay, sorry, now you have the power. Let me rephrase that. Since you have the power, when you have the power, should you have the power?
So I must have a power. I must have a power. So if I have to influence one policy, I'm just thinking hard. I'm not sure what that would be. I know that those that know me know that I'm not very big when it comes to government. I think I'm government shy. Maybe for obvious reasons. But I think one of the things, maybe education, maybe innovation education, because I think that one of the biggest challenge we have, and I see it manifest a lot in a lot of our conversations, is that there's a huge gap between what innovation is and what it truly should be. A lot of the knowledge and the information is outside of the education sector, right? So you have a huge mass of people, young people go through school, knowing nothing about what it takes to innovate, knowing nothing about what it takes to build businesses, right? And they graduate and suddenly find that they don't have jobs, okay? And then you hear one, how do they say it again? You hear one motivational coach tell them, or somebody, even the government has joined now, they tell you, if there's no job, create a job. You cannot do, and then you see, and then the sad thing is, a lot of people take that advice, and then they get into the space, and then the next thing is that they tell you there's no finance, there's no investment, there are no investors, right? It may look like a bit of, feedback to, what my brother, has said earlier. The truth is, there is actually a method to this thing. I've been opportune to work both ways. I'm one of the few people that have the privilege to work in ecosystem development and also work in the investment space, right? And I've been opportune to see things from different lenses. And so now I understand. Those days we would cry, there's no investors. Now that I've crossed the other side and I'm still, and I'm not understanding, okay, so these are the things, these are the issues. The people raising money are raising money for certain reasons that the people struggling to raise money don't know. And sadly, a lot of people actually don't want to know what those things are because they believe they already know. Right? It's one of the reasons why, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you see me talk a lot about professionals. The people that should be building businesses in Nigeria are not building businesses. That's the truth. The people that should be building businesses are people that have worked, gotten some experience. Some of them understand structure, and then some of them have thin gaps. You see people coming to build solutions in an industry they know nothing about. They know practically nothing about that industry. And not like they're going to look for somebody who knows something about that industry to work with them. Not even mentorship. I mean, get a co-founder that knows something in that industry. No, but they just believe, don't worry, I can solve this problem. Just give me the money. It's investment I need. It's not investment. You need access, right? Apart from the experience, you need access. And the investor's access is not going to be enough to carry you, right? Because even the investor is not looking for somebody to invest in and run the business on their behalf. They are looking to give you money and help bring their access to compound the one you already have. That's basically what they're coming to do. So if you lack those assets, and what is access? Proximity. He was talking about access developers, for instance. That's access already. You can't come and tell me I want to build a business and I don't know where to hire the engineers that will build the business for me, right? Oh, I'm working in the law space like the first fireside chat. I'm working in the law space and I'm looking for lawyers. I don't know anybody in the law space, right? So, and I'm trying to get into certain law documents and law books and stuff, and I don't know how to get that. Those are supposed to be taken for granted because you have access as a lawyer who wants to innovate in the law space. You understand? So I think that there's a lot of gap, so it should be education. Maybe we need to begin, those of us in the ecosystem, we need to begin to work to find ways to work with the institutions, the educational institutions, and if it is possible to get the government to create policies around that, and I think that's already beginning to happen. So that's what I want to see happen more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would have loved to do one more, but when MC Hall is looking at me, I think we have to wrap up. But just in less than 1 minute, Daniel, just the future, a perfect ecosystem, let's say South-South in the next 5-10 years. What are the metrics? What does it look like to you?
Okay, I think it's getting better. Uche, I need to say 2 days ago, Abia State signed the House of Assembly approved the Startup Act that we worked together the last time. And it's happening in different states. Now, let me tell you what it holds. For example, our own, we worked on. The state had committed that every year they will invest in the startup ecosystem 3 billion. Now, let me tell you what that will do to us in the next 5-10 years. People that gave up because of access to finance, and then it's structured in such a way that the money will be managed by finance managers, and people within the ecosystem are part of the council. Like, for example, as the president of Abia Technology and Innovation Network, I'm part of the council. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The same thing is happening in Akwa Ibom. They are going through their own process of building their own startup act. The national one, Onda was just talking to us about it. Now, it's being domesticated in different locations. So what I want to announce to anybody that wants to build something, you have an innovation in your heart, you have something in your spirit, but you are scared. Don't be scared. We did it. We started it. We are where we are today. So don't be scared. What you need to do is find the right knowledge, like what Uche has said. Get the right education. Which I think what we need to start doing is we need to start school that build founders. Because the person you were expecting to come and start startup is not starting it now. The people that want to start it, teach them what they need. So there's an association called Triple Helix. Triple Helix is government, academia, and industry. Okay? And they are playing a lot of roles. We should get people like that. And they are innovative. So we should get, I don't believe in saying this, because you have not done this, I can't do this. No. What I will tell you to do, see what you should do, see what you should do. After you've done this, come back. I can't show you why I can't invest. I will tell you what you need to do to qualify for my investment. And the beautiful thing is that today I have started investing. And I started investing from the people I have always believed in. I'm no longer asking people to give me their money. I can ask you to give me your money so that I can match my investment. Because we have started doing the work we have waited for people to do. That's how I've started investing. Okay? And that's how we grow our ecosystem. Thank you. The future is beautiful. Yes.
I'd like to just close by saying that Akwa Ibom State is doing well. And a lot of what you're doing is actually, I don't think some of you actually know a lot of what you're doing. I speak to Hansen sometimes, and it's funny when I say to Hansen, we're doing Startup South, I want you to bring Startup